Hello, everyone. Sarah here. We're going to be diving into the thought, the belief, the feelings, and the concept of being so low that settling for normal would be good. There's so much in that. And when you've gone through an emotionally abusive and neglectful, traumatic past, oftentimes you get to this place where you feel like that'd be good. And you just want to be good. You want to be good. You want to believe yourself when people ask you, hey, how are you? And your response is, I'm good. Your automatic response is, I'm good. Really? Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. And in my free masterclass, we get into this. I call it the F me, fake me. But we're not really going to get into that today. We're going to get into what it is behind this. When you're so low that settling for normal would be good. So that means you have to be lower than normal and settle for normal. That means you're like way, way in. You're way down deep. You're really in the pit. You're not just falling or sinking into the pit, but you feel like you're in the pit. You're alone in the cold, dark bottom of the pit. Yet at the same time, it's really strange because you feel like, no, I'm still falling into it. Like it feels like I'm at the bottom, but the bottom goes deeper. And you're trying to figure out, how do I get up and how do I get out and how do I get to the top and how do I get out and continue on with my life when I feel like I'm in the pit? Because I feel like I'm settling, I feel like I'm sinking, I feel like I'm in quicksand, I feel trapped. I feel like the more that I move to try to get out, the further and deeper that I sink. And if I could just stop moving and just stop right here and just settle in this place, in this space, that would be that'd still be low, but it would be normal. And I wonder what I need to do that. Because now you're experiencing fear, awe, and wonder. How do I just let it all go? And everyone says, just let it go, just move on. But you're feeling like underneath the weight of all this stuff, not only does it feel like you're in the darks and the depths of a pit, it feels like people are like throwing dirt on top of you. Like it feels like you're being buried alive and you're trying to move your way out of that that's being thrown on top of you at the same time that that's being thrown on top of you. And then it feels like you feel the weight of it. You feel the heaviness of it. And it's actually the weight of the blame, the shame, the guilt, the anger, the resentment, the feeling of powerlessness, the feeling of lack of control. You know that there's no one literally throwing dirt on top of you, but that's what it feels like. And it feels like you can't ever get clean. You can't ever get out from under that. But that effort too is so emotionally draining and mentally exhausting that you just feel like it would just be easier to collapse under the weight of it all. And you feel like you're alone in there and there's no help and there's no support in there. And it feels like you've got to do it all yourself, all of those things. And that develops severe anxiety within you, this feeling like I can't breathe, I can't think. It's like I can't even make a decision. What gets created and developed is what I call the gaslighter me. It's an archetype, and I've developed 5 of them, 5 archetypes of the emotionally abused and manipulated. And it's that mind that says, I don't know, that mind that just draws blanks anytime it has to think. And it's like, what do you think? And you get stuck and you stutter and you stumble, and it's like you look to someone else. I don't know, what do you think? Can you please help me? Can you please just tell me what to do and I'll do it? Can you please just make the decision for me? Because in that please make the decision for me, there's pleasing in the pleasing in the, okay, if you make the decision for me and then I do what you decided that I should do and I do it, there's a possibility and a hope and a chance that you'll be happy. And if you're happy, then I can breathe. Because then I'm not out there all alone trying to navigate and figure out what is it that I need to do that's going to make you happy. And if I don't know that, then I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, and I feel like at any moment I'm walking through a landmine and one is gonna go off on me. So could you please just make the decision for me? And when you get into this state and space of I need to make the decision for myself, it feels like I, I can't, because what if I don't make the right one? And what if you get mad or angry? Or what if you like come and you see it and it's like worse than it could have been if you would have just told me? And I would just do it. And now you're in the state of I don't want to be in that space anymore. But now I don't know. It's like I can't think for myself. And you don't understand it because logically, you know you have a brain and you know you have a mind. You hear the thoughts that go through it all the time, but it's like you don't have any control over those thoughts. And it's like you're stuck on the negative ones, and any squeaky little tiny positive one just flies out as fast as it came in. And it's like, wait, don't go. No, I'm just all alone with these thoughts. These thoughts of guilt and shame and lack and mistrust. And I don't want these. I don't know what to do with these. I want to get rid of them. I want to let them go. How do I let them go? How do I get rid of them? And maybe you're no longer in the relationship with the person who was controlling you or manipulating you or abusing you, and now you feel like you miss them. You don't miss them, you miss the connection. You miss that at least someone was there and at least you weren't alone. And without them, I've like stuck with these thoughts, and these are not fun to be stuck with. I'd rather be stuck with that person, because at least if I'm distracted by all of the chaos and the drama with that person, I'm not stuck with my own thoughts. And I'm not stuck like fighting my brain all day. And that's the space that it feels like you're in when you're out of that space. So it's not always fun or easy to leave that space, because it feels like, wow, now I'm just stuck fighting with my brain all day. Is that better? Is that worse? Because now I feel like I'm alone. Now I feel like I'm with all these thoughts. Now I feel like I'm still fighting. I'm still in this constant state of fight. And I'm fighting myself all day. Like I'm fighting my own brain all day. I'm battling my own inner thoughts all day. So might as well, when you have a thought of going back, or there's an invitation to go back, you're like, well, at least I wouldn't be alone. And I wouldn't have as many of these thoughts, because I'd be having new distractions and experiences. I mean, yes, I'd be fighting, but it wouldn't be like fighting these old, heavy, massive wounds inside, these thoughts that's like telling me you're going to be alone the rest of your life. You're never going to get over this. And having all of this evidence to prove that that's true. And so you begin to believe all of those thoughts, and you begin to believe and feel like you're losing that inner battle. So when there's an opportunity for an out, it's like, looks pretty good. And I don't want that to feel pretty good, because it doesn't feel pretty good. So I find that I reach out to support groups, and I'm like, okay, here's my story. And the feedback that I receive when I share my story is, hang in there. You've got this. You're doing great. And you're thinking, huh, gee, thanks. You clearly don't understand. And so again, another situation, an experience of feeling misunderstood, feeling unsupported, feeling like they don't get it. And then you feel like, oh my God, I've lived for so long feeling misunderstood and feeling like they don't get it. And in the feeling of not getting itness, I feel completely alone. No one gets it. And no one gets what I'm feeling, and no one gets what I'm experiencing, and no one gets how hard it is to feel like I'm battling my own brain. If I could just not be in a battle with my own brain, maybe these things would go away. Maybe my life would change if I didn't have to just battle my brain. And then your brain says, I think you miss that person. And you're thinking, no, I mean, logically, that was not a good situation or experience for me, for others involved, for them. It just it wasn't good. I don't miss them. And you're trying to convince yourself of that. And it's like, why should I have to try to convince myself of that? That I know that is a fact. I don't miss them. I can look at the laundry list of evidence that says all of the horrible things that they did to me. Why would anybody miss that? But then you feel like, ah, the sense of confliction inside, because it feels like, well, maybe I do. Because if I don't, why would I think that I do? And you're actually missing what you never had. And it's like, how is that possible? How can you miss what you never had? It'd be like going out and like buying your favorite pair of shoes, and you absolutely love these shoes and you wore them everywhere, and you got so many compliments on them and they were so comfortable. You would just, they went with everything. They were your favorite pair of shoes, and dog shoes went up. Ah. And then someone is like, "Oh, I see you're wearing a different pair of shoes. What happened?" And you're like, "Oh, you know," and you're trying to convince yourself, I don't miss those shoes. I never had them." And you're thinking, "No, yeah, I had the shoes. I had the shoes. I have the pictures of me in the shoes. I have the pictures of me in the shoes here, and I have pictures of me in the shoes there, and I love them." And no, had the shoes, and it's like, well, huh. I miss those shoes. They were my favorite. I was so in love with them. And you're trying to figure all this out, and someone's like, "Well, you can't miss what you never had." And you're like, "No, I had it. Yeah, no, I know I had it. I had it for me. And now I don't. Now I've got one that's destroyed. So I just actually threw that one away. And so now I don't know what to do, because now I'm stuck with the shoes that I don't like. They're not as comfortable. They're not my favorite. They don't go with everything the way that those other ones did. Now you're in the state of like, I just want those shoes back. Like I would do anything to get those shoes back." And someone's like, "Gone, destroyed, never gonna get them back." And trying to tell you you never had them. No, I know I had them. And that's the way it is when you're living in that aftermath of having been with the narcissist. It's like, well, you never actually had that. And you're thinking, no, I did, but you didn't. And you know that you didn't, because you understand narcissism now. You understand emotional abuse, manipulation, trauma, emotional unavailability, that there never ever really was that connection. But you lived for however long believing, feeling, and experiencing that connection. It's like someone telling you you never had those shoes. Yes, I did. I know I did. Look, here's the proof and the evidence that I did. I know I did. And you're telling me I didn't know? You can go, where. And it's this mental game of understanding like you were unknowingly living a lie. It's like you looked down and you saw the shoes and you felt the shoes and you experienced the shoes, and it's like, wait a minute. You're telling me, hold on, hold on. You're telling me I never had those shoes? I don't get it. And your mind is in this constant state of, I don't get it-ness. And then it begins to sink in. And you enter in this phase of like, whoa, okay, now what? The whole time I thought I had the shoes and I thought I loved them. I thought they were the best thing ever. And I thought they were so wonderful and they were so great. And now you're telling me I didn't have the shoes. And now but I lived believing I was wearing these shoes, and okay, now what? Like clearly I'm crazy. And you feel like you're going crazy. You feel like you're going insane after having lived through that type of experience. And you realize you feel like you're crazy and you're insane because it changed you on the inside. It changed everything about you. It changed the best parts of you. The best parts of you were the you that was like so happy, so free, so fully expressed, so joyful while you were wearing the shoes. And it's like, if it changed the best part of you, then now what? Because the shoes are gone. Does that mean the best parts of me are gone? It did change the best parts of you. And you feel like you're going crazy because you missed something that is like, did I ever even have that? I thought I had that. And I thought when I had it, I was so crazy, but it changed the best parts of me. And now I feel like I'm going crazy. I just want that back, because getting that back means that I'm not crazy. And I feel like I'm going crazy now. I feel like I'm in this battle, in this constant daily fight with my brain all day, every day. I wake up to the battle. I go to sleep to the battle. every day I fight the battle. I fight it while I'm working. I fight it while I'm parenting. I fight it while I'm friending. And I try and sit there and smile and pretend that I'm not fighting a battle inside. I try and go do things for myself and have fun. And I try to self-care and self-love. And I try to self-care and self-love all in the name of trying to just lie that I'm not in the middle of a battle and a fight inside. And you may feel that you have good days and bad days, days where you feel like, I'm not crazy. I know I was wearing those shoes. I know I was in love. I know I was happy. And then days where you question everything and you look back on the pictures and go, was I really? It still feels like I was. But now I'm starting to learn that I wasn't, and I don't get it. And everything about that situation, the way you view it, the way you perceive it, the way you experience it, all of that changes. And then it's like, what does that mean about me? Because I thought that then. And so if that wasn't that then, but I thought it was, what does that mean about me? So you get into the state and the space of just completely questioning everything, doubting everything, wondering about anything, feeling so scared to do anything because you don't want to get back to that state again, yet you want to get back to the you were before that state. And you understand, okay, I need to work on this. I need to figure this out. It's like this tangled mess and I need to untangle it. I imagine it like if you knit or you crochet and you've got this ball of yarn. How easy is it going to be to knit and crochet with a ball of yarn that's all tangled and knotted together? It's not, it's going to be quite frustrating. And the more you pull it and work at it with anger, with frustration, it's like the tighter the knots get, the tighter the tangles get. And it takes this loosening, this untangling, and it takes patience, it takes compassion. That's the same thing that's happening with your innermost thoughts, with your subconscious thoughts, and with your inner mind, your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind. That's the same thing that's happening with all of those things, with the beliefs that form the thoughts. They're tangled and they're mixed up and they're knotted up and they're twisted up, and they don't come untangled with frustration. They don't come untangled with resistance. They don't come untangled with a fight. You're already experiencing the fight and the battle inside your brain. And that battle, that fight within, is not untangling or loosening those knots or those thoughts. It's actually making them worse. And there is a process to untangling them. There's a beautiful process to getting that ball of string that you need to knit and weave this beautiful experience of life with. There's a beautiful process to getting them untangled, and it's not with the same thing that got them to be tangled in the first place. But that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to occur, is to untangle that, to loosen them, to open them up so that you have what you need to create whatever it is you want to create. Feels like a lot, I know. And when you say, okay, I know, I'm working on it. It's just too much. It's just like I can't pick up that ball of yarn and just start working on it, because every time I do, I just see how many knots and how tangled it is and how messy it is. And then I feel like I'm worthless because I'm the one that got it into that tangled mess, but I didn't even realize I was getting it into that tangled mess. It just kind of happened. And now when I sit down to try and work on it, it's like, this is all my fault. And the weight comes back and it feels like people are shoving dirt on me again. And it just feels so heavy, and I want out, and I want to not feel that energy anymore. I want to not feel that anymore. And I want to feel like I'm not alone in untangling this mess that is my life. I don't want to feel like I'm alone on the battlefield of my brain and my mind, and it's just not a fun place. It's not a place that I want to be, but it's a place that you already are. You see, it's a place that we don't want to be. And it's a place that we already are. And you say, I need to work on this. But when you sit down to work on it, it feels like too much. And then the pattern starts over. You begin to internally beat yourself up again and label yourself as a failure if you sit down to work on it, to untangle it and not unknot it. And some of the knots get even tighter, and the mess becomes more of a mess. And then you just, what's the point? What's the use? I'm never going to be able to do this. It's never going to get better. And the battle begins again. The battle resumes, the internal battle, and it makes you feel even worse. And then it's like, you know what? I'm just going to take a break from all this. And maybe I need to go to bed. Maybe I need to go for a walk. And it's like all of that effort of working on it that's supposed to make you feel better makes you feel worse. And it's like, well, I'm tired of feeling worse. I'm tired of feeling this. I don't want to feel worse. I already feel worse. And then you feel like all of that anger and all of that rage is like, that's not my fault. They did all this. I thought I was wearing the shoes. That's what happens within. That's what happens within when you're with someone like that. And it's like they're sitting on the sidelines. If they ever get to see you or witness you or experience you untangling this mess, they think it's funny. And it just continues to make things worse. And the place that it makes things worse is within. And then more frustration, more anger, more resentment, more shut up, more inner mental chaos. There's a ton of inner mental chaos when you're with a narcissist, when you're with an emotional manipulator and abuser, and really the only thing that you want for them, you get to this place where you understand and you know they're never going to change. They actually, in a very, very sick way, find pleasure in seeing people have experiences like that, in laughing at people and belittling people and pointing the finger at them and seeing you feel about this big. And you realize all I want to do is get out of this mess in my head. That's really the only thing that matters to me. If I could just do that, if I could just get out of the place that being so low, normal would feel good. A huge number of the people that I work with say, I just want to feel normal again. And when I ask, well, what does normal mean? Normal means understanding that life is going to happen, that not everything is going to be perfect. Normal is the ability to handle things, the ability to stay when I need to stay, try and untangle that yarn of a mess that is the representation of my life, walk away when I need to walk away. And when I walk away, not beat myself up that I couldn't do it all in one sitting, in one time. Having grace for myself and seeing the accomplishments that I did achieve, seeing what I did untangle, focusing on the positive things and focusing on the good things, the beneficial things, the things that I did instead of the things that I didn't. That's normal, because normal people can do that. Normal people can see things clearly. Normal people are not convinced that they're wearing a certain pair of shoes when they're not. I just want to be normal again. That's what it is. But right now I feel like I'm so low that even normal would be good. That's a good state. And then it continues to evolve from there in this direction, not that one. It begins to feel like you're coming up and coming out. You're rising out of the pit, that the dirt has stopped being thrown on you. And it's like, I've got this. I've got this. I'm making progress. I'm making movement in the right direction. And it's that untangling. And normal is the ability to process emotions, to sit with them when I need to sit with them, to actually give myself grace and space when I need it, the ability to forgive myself, the ability to let go, to move on, to move forward. That's normal. So if you're so low that you feel like settling for normal would be good, because of what you've experienced from emotional abuse and neglect in your past, from a narcissistic relationship, and it feels like your mind is that ball of string, and you're ready to untangle it, you're ready to untwist it, you're ready to unknot it, and you're ready to do that without beating yourself up. or not being able to do it all in one sitting, or feeling like you're just have been left and abandoned and it's your job to do it alone. Is maybe you get to that point where you feel like, okay, I've actually made some progress. I've made some movement forward, and now I can't get past this one part, but I can see what else needs to be done. And so it's like, if someone else could come and help me get past this one part, I could do the rest on my own. I know that. And maybe that's the state that you're at. You're in that space of, okay, I need this area. I need support in this area to get untwisted and untangled. I can have clarity of mind, peace of heart. I just need to get past this one roadblock, and I've been stuck here, stuck behind this semi for hours. If I could just get around it, I could take off. Either way, wherever you're at on your journey, I'd love to guide you through that. So if this resonates, if this lands for you, wherever you're at along that journey, to healing from emotional abuse and neglect, to healing from narcissistic abuse, and you're ready to get around that semi, untangle that mess so that you can create what it is that you want with your life after having gotten all tangled and all twisted and all bound up, and stop behind that semi, and you're ready to get out, and you're ready to not just feel normal. Normal would be great, and you will feel that, because that's one of the stages that you feel and you experience as you go through the evolution and journey to growth. As you continue to climb up that ladder, you'll stop by there, and then that gets to be your baseline. So even if you do slip and fall, even if it is 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, you know what? If I landed at normal every time, that would feel good. Instead of sliding back down into the hole, if I could just climb up and up and up, and then if I did slide down, because we all slide down at times, just slide back down and land on normal, 2 feet on the ground. That would be incredible. That'd be amazing. That would be life-changing in and of itself. So when you're ready to give that gift to yourself, I'd love to connect. You can find out more information in the description below this video on how to do just that. All right, guys, that is it for now. Sending you love. Take care.